used by several Indigenous nations, but we would like to pay special recognition to our closest Indigenous neighbors, the communities of Bittergon, Anishinaabe, and Pic-Mobert First Nations. We wish to recognize the long history of the First Nations and Métis people in our region specifically and show respect to them today. All in favor? Thank you. I'll call the meeting to order. Are there any additions or deletions to the menu? Seeing none, we'll move to disclosure of interest. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Seeing none, we'll move to the approval of the agenda. Moved by Councillor Scampanello, seconded by Councillor Rolla. Resolved that the agenda be approved as circulated. All in favor? Thank you. There are no delegations or presentations, so we'll move to the business at hand, which is a virtual open house public meeting budget proposal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have a couple of things to do this morning. As you know, due to COVID, we had a virtual process for the public to provide feedback on the draft budget. We had nobody schedule a telephone phone-in for this morning. We did receive 2 emails and 1 letter, and in general, they were more comment than actual feedback or questions about the particular budget this year. So I'll go over those quickly with council and explain where we're at with those items. And we did have to make some adjustments to the budget. We've made adjustments so there's no impact. Just we had some mechanical breakdowns since we've come to council, and we've provided for them in the budget. They're both a public works item, and we had equipment reserve money for public works, so we used that to cover the items, and we'll provide feedback on it when we get to that component of this morning's talk. So first, as far as the feedback about the budget, we had one about the library and the process of the budget for the library and some transparency information. So I've responded to that individual about the appointments. There was questions about appointments to the boards as well and how it affected the budget. So I've responded to that, and I will respond to the questions about process and regarding the financial position of the library and how that's handled. So I'll deal with that in the next coming days. The next email was from a member of the public with some general comments about the budget, and notably was the in administration we've included a transportation line, and they were questioning what that was for. And that's actually the MyRide program, which is funding we receive through a grant program that covers the cost of the operation. So we show it in our budget as an expense, but there's also a corresponding revenue coming in to cover the cost of the MyRide program through the grant. And then some general statements about cost increase. You know, they were just comparing, for instance, that was the water and sewer operating costs that went from $750 to $1.1 million. We got back into the email and looked at it again. So one was then I looked at it, the change was from actually 2013 to 2017. So when we looked at the 7 years, we apply a 2% inflation rate over that term and compound it up for 7 years. We're very close in line, actually, on the numbers. So we've explained that. We've emailed this individual back and provided that information. And then there was just a question about parks and what it included, so we provide clarification. The next comment was about the $700,000 we received for the Community Wellbeing Fund. So we just got that money in the new year. So Chris has provided in the budget as an income statement for that money, and shows it being transferred into the Community Wellbeing Fund as a transfer in, and also noted then on the budget as a capital item under the COVID stimulus that Council agreed to provide, showed that expense. So the transfer, the total was 700,000. We'll reduce that amount by 190. We'll show that in the budget as an expense for the COVID stimulus, and the balance going into the Community Stabilization Fund for future use by Council. So we provided feedback on that to the member of the public that applied. The third item we received, I just got this yesterday, and it's from the Golden Age Club, and they're requesting funds from Council in the amount of $25,000. If Council recalls, we applied for a grant on behalf of the Golden Age Club for $25,000, and we received that grant, I think it was March, Chris?
I believe so,
I believe it was March we got the announcement. So we were successful in applying on their behalf and received $25,000. They're still pursuing their kitchen upgrade, which they'd like to complete, and have written us a letter stating that $50,000, and it talks about some of the work. So Council has some options there. One, you could deny the request. Two, you could provide it from Community Wellbeing or another source of funding. What I would suggest at this time is maybe we have we don't need to address that issue today, but we have a meeting with the board, because we haven't done that since COVID started. We haven't really got together with the Golden Age Club board. So, and Min could have a meeting with them, talk about this, get an idea how they derived at this number and what's involved. You know, as the building owner, we have some concern about what's going on, and we just want to make sure the whole project's heading in a right direction before we would recommend to Council to proceed with a request like this. So in the next little bit, we'll arrange a meeting with the board of the Golden Age Club and come back to Council with a report on the request, if that's appropriate and suitable to Council. Okay? So those are the three comments that are questions regarding information regarding the 2020 draft budget. And we did have some adjustments we've made to the budget. The Public Works Superintendent completed capital request sheets yesterday, so we have all the information for you this morning. Unfortunately, he's out of the office today, so we'll do our best to field your questions regarding those two requests, and then we'll go from there. So I'll turn over to you, Chris, and present those two.
Okay. Well, you want to speak to the capital?
The capital request.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you want me just, or do you want to go in general what you did, and then I can talk to them if they.
Okay, so what we have done is Public Works, the hydrovac needs a pump in order for it to operate. We get a rebuild for 20 grand. And what we've done simply is to keep the zero impact on the taxation. There's money in the Public Works Equipment Reserve Fund. So we decided to pull from there as opposed to make any adjustments to the budget as was already previously more or less approved at that point in time. And the 930 cat loader has been tagged out due to safety, operational safety. And we had done the exact same thing. We pulled it from the Public Works Equipment Reserve Fund to ensure no impact to the operating budget and no extra cost to the local repair. And those were the only two changes made.
Yeah. If Council would like, I could explain on those two issues a little more if you would like. Sure. Sure. One is the on the hydrovac truck, there's a large roots blower on there, and we had a bearing failure on it. So Public Works Superintendent looked at the options of repair of the blower on the truck. A new blower is in excess of $30,000. Comes with a 1-year warranty. What he's recommending is the option of sending ours out for a full rebuild with a 6-month warranty, and it's just under the $20,000 mark for that. There is a this is the upside of the price. There is a core which we said was a couple $1,000.
He
Chris?
wasn't sure.
Yeah.
There was no actual cost. It would depend on the condition of our
Yeah.
once it's received.
They'll tear it down, and we possibly could have that fee reduced by a couple thousand if the core is good. If the core is not good, this would be the upside charge of making that repair. It's a expensive piece of equipment, and this is a component of it to get it back in service for us. It's down right now and not usable. They do have the part in stock, so the turnaround time is fairly quick, and we'd like to get this back into service as quick as possible.
And also that piece of equipment is scheduled to run pretty much every day.
Well, we use it pretty steady now. It's become main part of the fleet. The second item is the older 930 cat loader that we have, and the rear diff has failed. So it's this is a replacement used unit which Cat is going to tear down, go through, and we'll buy it for the tune of $16,000 with a 30-day warranty on the component. A new one is in excess of $30,000 and a delay to get. So he's recommending to go for a rebuild. So Cat has the component at their location. They would go through it, fix it, and then the local Cat person would install that for the warranty to be in place. And that price includes, he's already tore the old one down and tore it out so we could get a look. So this includes the pieces plus removal and replacement as well for that fee. So we'd like to proceed with that in order as well. So those are the two items. And as Chris mentioned, we took that from the equipment reserve fund to keep the budget at the level we presented to council last week.
Okay.
Any other questions or other comments, Chris?
No, I'm good.
So,
Do you have any questions?
No.
No, that's not so. Are we done?
We can adjourn if council sees fit, if you have no further questions or
Do we
comments from the
have we
treasurer.
approved the budget, or have we done?
No, that will be, we plan to approve on Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
At the 24th was the schedule we had set for council, in case there was questions that came up.
Okay. So there is no closed session, and therefore we'll move to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Arola, seconded by Councillor Scampanella, resolve that the special meeting adjourn at the hour of 9:12. All in favor?